Good day to everyone, to all my students. Welcome to Philo 101. And in this course, we are acquainted about what is ethics or how to live a good life. Now, before we start with our lesson proper, allow me first to start with the philosophy. Since that our course is Philo 101, so we have to start with what philosophy is all about, right? So, shall we start here? So here uh, in this picture, we know already this is one of the great masterpieces of a certain um, sculptor in the name of Auguste Rodin, no? The thinker. Since that in philosophy, we are not here to only to philosophize, but we are also here to think. Okay, so what is philosophy? Uh, so allow me to introduce myself. I am Sean Xavier Alquilita, so I'm a graduate of Master of Philosophy from the University of San Carlos. Okay, so let's start here. Okay, what is philosophy? There are three ways to define what philosophy is. The first way of defining philosophy is through etymological definition, which is attributed to philosopher Plato. No? And according to Plato, that philosophy stems from the word philia and sophia, which means it is the love of wisdom. So that is basically the philia means love, Sophia means wisdom. So any one of you here whose names are Philia or Philos, it means love. And mostly ladies whose names Sophia and Sophie, these are this that name is what we term it as wisdom. That is why for Plato, philosophy is focused more on the pursuit of wisdom or the lover of wisdom. Let's go. Let's go forward. Let's move forward. And we have to consider here Aristotle, the second way of defining philosophy. No, and for Aristotle, he defined philosophy in a scientific definition. Apart from his teacher Plato, because Plato was Aristotle's teacher for 17 long years. And but for you, with you, I'm just only your teacher for good only for 3 months. Oh, will be only up until this coming December, and our finals will be on December 23. No, but Aristotle was a student of Plato for 17 long years. Now, Aristotle defined philosophy in a scientific definition, and according to Aristotle, that philosophy is the science of all things and their causes under the aid of reasoning alone. Since it is the science, no? It's a knowledge to get to know about the things, and not only to get to know about all things, but also their causes. So if we're trying to know the cause, we have to ask first the question why, no? Since we're talking here about the cause, the first question starts with why, and from there we can arrive at a certain thing. We can arrive at a certain knowledge behind the why, or the question concerning about why, no? That is cause under the aid of reasoning alone. So the tool here is basically our intelligence. This one, our intelligence. Now, next. So the third way of defining philosophy is Existential definition. That for the existentialists, the main purpose of philosophy is to search the meaning of life. What is what is life all about, or why am I here? Questions about. It's not talking now about the wisdom. It's not talking about the cause, but it's talking about life. Because is philosophy is a way of life. It's not only about thinking. It is not about philosophizing, but it's talking about a way of life and how you live through it. Now, for the existentialist, what's the meaning of life? Why am I here? What's the purpose of my existence? So that's the basic question about the why, no? For the existentialists, no? So shall we move further? Now, for Karl Jaspers, now sorry if the the quote is being covered here. I guess I'm recording here, but I have myself in the right bottom right of the picture. But anyway, I have to reiterate further. According to Karl Jaspers, a philosopher, an existential philosopher, he said that in philosophy, questions are more important than answers. Now, and if you ask questions, you'll yield to answers, and the answers would yield to another further questions towards the end, that you'll ended up with more questions and than answers. That is why if you ended up with more questions than answers, questions that cannot be answered anymore, that is where philosophy starts. That is why for Plato, it still goes back to Plato, that philosophy begins with wonder. That's according to Plato. Okay, so let's move further. Okay, so since that in philosophy it is that questions are more important than answers, now let us go now to the basic question in philosophy. So the fundamental question in philosophy is, what is being? So many Bisaya sa being. Kamo unsa may Bisaya ani? Okay. Kamo unsa man jud? Can you guess? Mostly students would answer pagka. Oh. Pagkatao, nana. But kana siyang Bisaya sa being, malitok na ninyo guys, awa ninyo tuyo Malitok na ninyo, awa ninyo na tuyo Saman. Any wild guess? Okay. I have a story in my classroom. Nga ako yung gikaliton jud nako para malitok yun nila. Ako yung inon there was one student at the back. Ang siyang gitudlo. Ana yun nga. Unsay Bisaya sa being? Gikalit yun ako. Ku answer. Unsa to? Ku answer. Ha? Unsa to gisulti na nimo gisulti. Kanang ku answer, very good. Kuan. Mao na siya being. Mao na Bisaya sa being. Kuan. Kuan. That's why I told you, malitok na ninyo nga wa ninyo tuyo That is why when you say kuan, it's talking about something. Kini man good si kuan, si Juan ba naman to siya ki kuan, niadto sa siya sa kuan nga na siya gibuhat kana kuan manggod kanang iyang gibuhat kay kuan nga niadto siya sa kuan. Yun na. Okay, so let's move further. There are three questions about being. So it starts with the fundamental question, what is being? Then being could either be of three. What is God? There are three fundamental questions. Starts, what is God? What is the world? And what is man? And so from here, we are now dealing with the branches of philosophy. Three branches of philosophy. Okay, so the philosophy that deals on the study about being is what we call it metaphysics, or otherwise ontology, no? So that is the study about being. Metaphysics or ontology is a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about reality. So if the question starts with is this real? So I'm talking here the reality. So the world that I'm living here is real. Do anything that I see is real? Nana ba? Or is the way the question is this real? What I see is real, or is just only an illusion? No. So which is which? There are many schools of thought here. If you are an idealist, you can say that the world here is not real. This is only an illusion. But if you're a realist, you can say that the world that you're living here is real. So which is which? The next one here is God. No, the branch of philosophy that deals on the study about God is what we call the theodicy. Theodicy. Not theology, but theodicy. So there's a great question, the great difference between theology and theodicy. Because when you say theology, it is a study about God on the basis of faith, pagtuo. Excuse me. And theodicy, on the other hand, that is attributed by a philosopher, Christian Wolff, that theodicy is the study about God on the basis of reasoning alone. So the question is whether God is, you can say that you might be a theist because you believe that God exists. But if you say God is not, you might be an atheist. But if you say God cannot be known, you might be an agnostic. You're not sure. You can say that since God is infinite, our mind is finite, then our mind cannot surpass. And then in the end, you can say, I don't know. Or you have no interest in God at all. So that is theodicy. The next one is the cosmology. No, cosmology is the study about. It's a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about the universe. Where's the universe came from? Where's the world came from? Some others would say that in the Bible that God created the world in 7 days. But here comes the science. The science would say that we came from the Big Bang Theory. So which is which? No? How can we reconcile the scientific truths to our own faith? And this is where cosmology starts. This is where cosmology begins, because cosmology is trying to reconcile with the ideas about faith concerning about the origin of the universe, the origin of the world, and at the same time with the scientific explanation about scientific explanation about the origin of the material things. The next one is the what is man. So this is your subject. This was your subject when you were senior high school. No? What is man? So this is what we call it, the philosophy of the human person. I'm so sorry, but medyo natabunan. Philosophy of man or philosophy of the human person. So what makes man truly human? To be human is to be more than a man. Yeah, to be a man doesn't necessarily mean to be human. Mm. So what is the basis of our humanity? Oh, ano ang basihan sa ating pagkatao, no? This is where philosophy of the human person begins. Okay. So this is it. Theodicy. So there's an extension to theodicy, which is the philosophy of religion. So philosophy of religion is a special branch of philosophy that deals on the evaluation and appreciation of man's relationship to God, as well as the existing religions around the world. So monas, yeah. Cosmology is a branch of philosophy that deals on the principles concerning the origin of the universe. Theodicy is a study about God on the basis of reasoning alone. Metaphysics or ontology is a branch of philosophy that deals with the study of the ultimate principles governing all things, and also a study of reality. Okay, let's move further. So let's move now to the what is man. So what is man? Here we have to say a classical description about man. This is based on Aristotle. According to Aristotle, that man is he who, number one, is a man is he who thinks and acts. Okay, so let's move further with the branch of philosophy. So on the speculative level, what I mean speculative level, on the level of cognition, on the thinking level or the level of cognition, there are two branches of philosophy here. So this is what we call it logic. So actually guys, I missed this subject so much. I taught this subject before, Philo 1, in the same university and also in the previous universities that I taught before UC, no? Logic. The other one is epistemology. Now let's go first with logic. Logic is not a philosophy, but according to Aristotle, it is an organon. It is an organon. What I mean organon? Organon means a tool. No? It is a tool. Yeah. So logic is an organon. It is a science of correct thinking and reasoning. That is why it is an organon. It is a tool. It's because in philosophy, we use the tool, logic, as a tool for thinking. Okay, so let's move to the next one, epistemology. Epistemology, on the other hand, it is a branch of philosophy. It is a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about knowledge, the origin of knowledge, where our knowledge came from. Some others would say that knowledge came from our sense experience, our senses. Nothing comes into your mind without passing through your senses. So that might be that you might be an empiricist. Some others would say that our source of knowledge is basically um, from our reasoning, from our analysis, in-depth analysis. So you might be a rationalist thinker or rationalism. So which is which, diba? So monism, yeah. Next one is the acts. So for acts, there's what we call it ethics. So this is our main subject, ethics. Ethics is a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about the questions concerning how to live a good life. Another name for ethics is moral philosophy. Morality, no? The next one is social and or political philosophy. So it is a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about politics, deals on the study about society, how to live or how to live a perfect society. What are the means on how to live a perfect society? Some others would say parliamentary government. Para mawagtang niya corruption diri, we use the parliamentary system, federal system. So this is where political philosophy comes in, di ba? For those students who are studying political science, or especially those who are under political science subjects, you have this subject, political theory, no? Political philosophy. And the other one is aesthetics, no? Aesthetics is a branch of philosophy that deals on the study about beauty. What is beauty? What does it mean to be beautiful? And aesthetics could be there to help you to think about anything what is beauty. Okay. So you have it here. Philosophy of the human person. It's a branch of philosophy that deals on the study of man and of his existence. Logic is the science of correct thinking and the principles of reasoning. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy that deals on the theory of knowledge. Ethics and or moral philosophy is a branch of philosophy that deals on the principles guiding human acts and how to live a good and a moral life. Social and or political philosophy is a branch of philosophy that deals on the social principles to create an ideal society to govern, and also to study on man's place in the society. Aesthetics, on the other hand, is a philosophy dealing on art and beauty. Okay. Actually, guys, in philosophy, there are two divisions, no? We have the Eastern philosophy and as well as on the Western philosophy. But there are many Oriental, or another name for Eastern philosophy is the Oriental philosophy, no? So of the Eastern thinkers, there are many, but I just only have to get those three people, no? Who are famous in their own right. Number one is Lao Tzu on Taoism. Number two is Siddhartha Gautama on Buddhism, is the founder of Buddhism. And the third one is a Chinese philosopher in the name of Confucius. In Western philosophies, there are four periods, historical periods in the Western philosophy. So allow me to explain each of these four. In Western philosophies, we have four periods in the history of philosophy. So let's move here. In a period of history philosophy, the first one is what we call it ancient philosophy. So ancient philosophy is the central point of inquiry rests on the cosmocentric view, no? Or questions relating to the origin of nature. What is the earth made of? What's the nature of the universe? Where did the world came from? What's the origin of the universe? So all those philosophers in the ancient philosophy long time ago, starting from 500 BC or even 600 BC to the time when Christ, to the time of Christ, no, until 100 AD, no. So cosmocentric view. Mm. So some others would say that the world is made, that the earth is made up of water. That's according to Thales. The other one says that it is made of void. Anaximander. So some others would say, Anaximenes would say, no, it is made of, it's made of water. It's made of air. Some others they say that the reality changes, so you cannot step into the same river twice. So our universe, our world, is the symbol of fire. Oh, Heraclitus, no? So that's it. Um, and then in the ancient philosophy, of all the philosophers in the ancient philosophy, only those two stood before the rest, no? Ang pinakasikat. O three, di ay tulo. Number one, Socrates. Oh, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Hmm. Now, after ancient philosophy, we have now medieval philosophy. It's also known as Christian philosophy, because in medieval philosophy, it started during the time after Christ ascended into heaven. So from there, their questions shift, their philosophers shift from the cosmocentric view to the theocentric view, no? So instead of the world, instead of the earth, instead of the universe, their focus now is more about God, on a theocentric view. And in medieval philosophy, there are many philosophers, no? Mostly the fathers of the church, no? Like Saint Clement, Boethius, Peter Lombard, and so many others. But ang pinakasikat jud nila, the famous, the pinakasikat yun nila duha. Number one, Saint Augustine, and the other one is Saint Thomas Aquinas. Mabotrata na later about Saint Augustine and Saint Thomas Aquinas. Saint Augustine about the rationis seminalis, no? That according to him, that 7 days of creation does not necessarily mean 7 days. So actually, that our world also undergoes the evolution, the process of evolution even up until now. So Saint Augustine claimed that the creation of God does not stop there in the 6 days. In the sixth day, the creation of God is continuing even up until now. That's rationis seminalis. For Saint Thomas Aquinas, what is famous about his theory is basically the natural law. Anyway, maabot na siya sa ethics, natural law theory. Now, from medieval philosophy, let us jump over now to the modern philosophy. Ah, so from the point of question about God, the thinkers swayed away from the nature and God because the focus is much more now to the questions concerning man, anthropocentric view of inquiry. That is why the father of modern philosophy, it is a mathematician in the name of Rene Descartes. Mm. So kinsay mathematician diha, kinsay engineer diha. Oh, kanang nag-imbento ng Cartesian plane. Siya na, Rene Descartes. He's also a philosopher. Oh, as a philosopher, he was also a teacher of Queen Christina of Sweden. And the Queen ordered Descartes to lecture him philosophy. On what time? Every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning. Imagine ka nga, porting bugnawa ng panahon na dito sa Sweden, mo maglayag pa ka pa do nga to siyang lugar nga porting bugnawa. Unya, para lang ikay mo tutor sa usa ka reyna. Unya, ang imong topic, philosophy lang. Well, mo na gitawag nga face-to-face class. Unlike karon, madaraman diri sa ang tutorial diri sa laptop. Pwede sa inyong cellphone. But during the time before, moadto jud ka. Tutorial gyud, face-to-face gyud. Pero mo po na hinungdan sa kamatayon ni René Descartes. What happened to René Descartes? What happened to him? He suffered of pneumonia. Pulmonya tungod sa kabugnaw. Gyud. Tungod sa kabugnaw, nagian pag-ubo ni sip-on dito, nagkatubig-tubig ng lungs, hinungdan siyang kamatayon. That's the reason, that's the cause of his death. Pneumonia, because of his habit of waking up early in the morning to go to the castle of a certain queen who wants to learn philosophy. So that is it. He's the father of modern philosophy. Started from somewhere in 1400s until 1800, no? In the 19th century. So from there, from the 19th century, from the shift of man, from the shift of the questions concerning man, which is anthropocentric view of inquiry, it goes to the questions concerning the meaning of life, and from there, contemporary philosophy began in that period. Mona, those people who began that way of thinking about the meaning of life were the existential philosophers, existentialist thinkers. Muna, is a period of contemporary thinking focuses more on the questions concerning the meaning of life. Language, muna gitaw nga linguistic philosophy or the philosophy of language. Muna musod na diha ang hermeneutics, the philosophy of interpretation, how to interpret the text. Then in the contemporary philosophy, we are already using technology that someday or somehow mang-retrench na ang mga trabahante. It's because companies, para maka-save lang sa ilahang money, aron sila maka-save silang kwarta, Di na sila mugasto pa sa pampasweldo sa tao, and then from there they use technology. Maubot yun ang punto nga ah, kanang mga call center agents diya sa IT park mga hanaw na, because today nakaron ang mga AI, no? Oh, artificial intelligence is already a click today in the technology. In Arizona, if you go to United States, in Arizona, if you go to McDonald's, in Arizona, in the McDonald's in Arizona, if you get inside there, wala gyud mga trabahante, wala gyud mga empleyado, only robots would serve to their customers. Mm. Usa nga to nga mo order ka. Yeah, sa imong order nimo, dito ka mo pay. And after payment, mabot yun na nimo sa imuhang table nimo, na robot mo dool nimo, tagaan ka sa imuhang food nga gi-order nimo. Then apo yung robot pod nga mo muluto sa pagkaon nga imong gi-kaon. So walay human labor. There's no human labor. Everything is run by technology. Everything is run by the AI system, artificial intelligence. So that is so in philosophy of technology. It's the question now: is technology really be the basis, or the question, and really be the basis on living a good life to make life easier? Mali punto diha. How about the human labor? Nagtrabaho mi para lang makakaon sa pamilya. Nga kung muso na mga technologies, muso na mga tao diya, unsa naman mi? Oh, karon nga pandemic man. Oh, di man pwede ang face-to-face class. Oh, diri mo gamit. Oh, this is where technology comes in. So, mo na siya ang punto diha. Mm. Okay. So from there, what is philosophy from a viewpoint of my student, previous student before, that philosophy is to experience on how to live up in a world where we confront our humanity towards our own self-fulfillment. Mm. So what is your aim in philosophy? So, and the aim in philosophy is to you empty your mind and nothing else. So that is empty. Um, yeah, no mind, no. That is Eastern philosophy, nothingness.